have a question, and I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
I have many questions.
Such. If they have fabricated history, distorted so much symbolic meaning, and lied about those that came before, how can we trust these old maps and accounts of the North? How do we know that Hyperborea is a real place, and that there is a vortex in the center?
There we go. There we got one. Hyperborea. Got it. See? I told you, it only took us 3 hours and 41 minutes to get another fucking bingo. Here we go. Cheers. We marked off another square on our bingo card, boys. Let's go.
Unfortunately, we cannot trust the maps, and I need to show you why. And it's now time to talk about the clocks. So you see,
oh no, not the fucking clocks.
The oldest map of them all, and it's not perfect by any means, but it's all we have.
Hyperborea is a continent, so it tastes like dirt. Episode 7.
I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward path had been lost. And during my journey, as I made my way through the tangled labyrinthine paths of deception, looking for the center of truth, I met a brilliant woman who told me many a flat fact. But out of all of her flat facts, it was one fact that struck a chord.
Flat facts.
And asked me to find the key anomaly, the one error that all maps contained. I pointed to the varying representations of unknown landmasses. To Hyperborea. She shook her head. No, find the glitch. We live on a flat plane. Our world is an electromagnetic terrarium, surrounded by an ethereal sea of water. And like all terrariums...
What? Okay.
After initial creation, they begin to form their own...
I actually have a terrarium right there.
Concentric spirals. There are 5 prominent circles of latitude, we are told. We have the Arctic Circle, closest to the center.
Yeah.
The Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees latitude in the northern hemisphere. The Equator at 0 degree latitude. The Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees latitude in the southern hemisphere. And the Antarctic Circle.
My terrarium, no, it's in a bowl. It's round.
When the sun is in this position, the northern hemisphere experiences summer, and the southern hemisphere experiences winter. After which, the sun turns and begins making its way back to the equator. The word tropic stems from the Latin word tropicus, which means pertaining to a turn. The sun journeys back, taking the same concentric spiral path, and reaches the equator again. It then keeps going and reaches the Tropic of Capricorn.
What?
When the sun is in this position, the southern hemisphere experiences summer, and the northern hemisphere experiences winter. After a time, the sun turns and begins making its way back to the equator for the March equinox. The equinox occurs when the sun is journeying in the circle of the equator, and those living along this line of latitude will see the sun directly overhead at a 90-degree angle at solar noon. The March equinox marks the season of spring in the northern hemisphere, and the September equinox marks the season of autumn. If you live in the southern
Excuse me, I don't think that this is how this would work.
The sun never reaches the Arctic Circle, nor does it reach the Antarctic Circle. It never reaches the poles. It journeys to the tropic circles and then turns back. The point at which the sun reaches its most northerly and southerly excursion relative to the equator is called the solstice. Solstice comes from the Latin word solstitium, which means point at which the sun...
That's not how light works.
Many do know that the sun seems to stop on the solstices. And this is because, in a sense, it does. It reaches the most northerly and southerly excursion and turns back. But why the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn? Who names these circles of latitude? Our historical ancestors did. They had clocks that not only told them the seconds of the hour, the hours in the day, the moment of dusk and dawn, and the current phase of the moon. Their clocks understood the true time, the bigger picture.
Yeah, I was actually just about to point out that the only way that this would work is... Okay, so I once saw a diagram from Flat Earth people where they're showing, like, the sun over the flat disk of the Earth, right? And the light is, like, curving. This is the only way that this fucking diagram works. So we got our light curves. Light is like a sprinkler. It curves out of the can.
The stars above us, beyond our firmament, and in the waters above, revolve at a constant 1 degree every 4 minutes, from east to west.
No, they don't.
This means they revolve at 15 degrees each hour. 15 degrees multiplied by 24 hours is 360, a full circle. The stars above are fixed. They do not stretch.
Yeah, my fingers go backwards. What are you talking about? Is that not normal?
Our ancient historical ancestors knew this. They assigned the stars above into fixed constellations. They divided the 360-degree circle of the sky.
Do your fingers only go this far? Because my fingers go that far.
The zodiac resides in. They designated each constellation.
You can just kind of go for it. Like,
most of which
it's normal.
Zodiac is an interesting word. Zodiac.
What? That's not weird.
Yes, the parallels with Noah's Ark.
That's normal.
Each constellation of the zodiac moves from its fixed position in the waters above at 1 degree every 72 years. The stars in the circle above us are fixed in their positions, but every 72 years, the entire circle shifts 1 degree. This is what is called the precession of the equinox. Remember, no,
that is not the precession of the equinox. You can't just take another crazy conspiracy term from a different fucking crazy conspiracy concept and apply it to your crazy conspiracy. That's not how that works. This is not the precession of the equinox.
72 with 30.
Jesus Christ.
It takes 2,160 years for the circle above to shift 1 whole arc. Astronomers call this an age, and this is what is meant by entering or the dawn of a new age. As Wikipedia tells us, the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn were named such because many years ago, the days before Christ, the days before BC, the sun was in the constellation of Cancer at the June solstice, and the sun was in the constellation of Capricorn at the December solstice. What does it mean for the sun to be in a given constellation during the solstice? It means the position of the sun in the sky at solar noon. Of course, during solar noon, we would not actually be able to see the stars in the firmament beyond. Therefore, to discern the sun's position relative to the constellations requires either 1, a thorough understanding of the stars and their positions above. Our ancient ancestors, we are told,
note the presence of Aldebaran in that constellation.
Star charts and use devices such as astrolabes. Or 2, computer technology that is able to map and overlap the sun's position against the backdrop of the stars and constellations of solar noon. The sun's presence in the constellation of a given zodiac sign means exactly as it sounds.
Yeah, normally they talk about the boats right away.
At the zodiac wheel, feature on the dial of these clocks. Here we see that both the constellations of Cancer and Capricorn are polar
He's giving us a history and astronomy lesson.
On the maps, and that we use to discern the sun's most northerly and southerly excursion above our flat plane. All historical cartographic world maps display both these circles of latitude as Cancer and Capricorn. We see it here on Mercator's maps, on the Ortelius, on the Rouge, on the Monte.
It does.
Combine so-called science with aesthetics to communicate spatial
okay, but you're completely ignoring the fact that these maps are showing a spherical Earth that fucking is not flat.
Here on Mercator's maps.
You're using non-flat Earth maps to prove you're flat Earth. Look at this map. Tell me this map is flat Earth.
You got to the flat Earth part?
Bro, we've been on the flat Earth part for 4 hours.
On the Rouge, on the Monte. Cartographic maps combine so-called science with aesthetics to communicate spatial information effectively. They strive to be accurate, and we still use this designation of Cancer and Capricorn for these circles of latitude on our cartographic maps today. Google Earth also uses these designations, but why? As Wikipedia states, when this line of latitude was named in the last centuries BC, the sun was in the constellation Cancer at the June solstice, the time each year that the sun reaches its zenith at this latitude. Similarly, when the Tropic of Capricorn was named, the sun was in the constellation Capricorn at the December solstice. And the wheel of the zodiac makes this very easy to understand. For instance, if the sun is in any given constellation at solar noon on the June solstice, then its
Alright, I'll see you later, Zap.
will always be in the constellation opposite.
I still don't have alert commands, Zap.
Vertical line. If, for instance, the sun is in the constellation of Aries,
I'm not
at the
setting up
solstice,
alert
then it would be in the
commands.
constellation of Libra in the December solstice.
Well, okay,
If the sun
maybe
was
I
in the
will.
constellation of Pisces at the
Maybe
June
I
solstice,
will.
Then it would be in the constellation of Virgo during the December solstice.
We'll get there.
These signs are, in a sense, bound in their opposition to one another. And this is where it becomes interesting. The vertical line here represents the tropic circles and their respective constellations during the solstices, but they are governed by another circle of latitude, the equator.
We're
On the wheel,
almost
this is
there.
represented by the horizontal line, and you'll see that the lines form a cross. The equator and the tropic circles are bound in unison by this cross. Remember, the zodiac is the clock face of the circle stars above us. When one turns anti-clockwise, the rest follow. And just like the signs of the solstices, the left hand of the horizontal line here represents the constellation the sun is in during the March equinox, and the right hand side representative of the sign during the September
He's
equinox.
talking
And it is the
so
left-hand side of the cross,
fast.
the
I need
March
to
equinox,
slow him
also
down
referred to as the vernal
just a
equinox,
little
and a
bit.
zodiac sign which acts as a reference point for the entire celestial coordinate system. It's called the first point of Aries. The naming of this reference point after the sign Aries.
Okay, yes, I will set a Discord and alert command. What other commands do I need to set? Let me know and I'll make a, I'll make myself a note and I'll do it in the morning.
Quite clearly. Why is this important? What we see here and what the
Why
mainstream
is
narrative
this
confirms
important?
is that
I
the tropics
don't
of Cancer and
fucking
Capricorn
know.
occurred during the age of Aries. For the last 2,000 years
We
or so,
started
we have been in the
talking
age of
about
Pisces. Remember,
astrology
an age lasts for roughly 2,160
like
years.
45
We are now on the
minutes
cusp
ago
of
and
entering
he
into the age
hasn't
of
gotten to the
Aquarius.
point
On June
yet.
2020, during the solstice, the sun entered the border of Taurus, and therefore the transition has already begun. And Google will tell you this yourself if you search.
No, we
A new
already
age,
entered
or a
the age
precession
of
of 30
Aquarius,
degrees
so
into a new
this
constellation
can't
on the
be
March equinox
like
is not some
an
new
age
age,
of
similar
Aquarius
spiritual
thing,
fantasy
you know
of
what I
astrologists and yogis alike. It is an astronomical law of the stars above in the firmament, and you can track it yourself every equinox and solstice. It is a critical and integral component in the function of our realm. If we are entering the age of Aquarius, then that means that the sun has not been in the constellation of Cancer or Capricorn during the solstice for over 2,000 years, when our realm was in the age of Aries.
Okay, so he's getting to the point now. So he's basically saying that because all of the maps say it was this or that age, that it was a
And
thing.
current cartographic maps, and even Google Earth, represent these circles of latitude as the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. There are no maps that present the tropic lines correctly, as they should be in the age of Pisces, our current age. Wikipedia and other mainstream
But, I mean,
narratives of deception tell us that our
doesn't
ancient
it
historical
being the
ancestors
Tropic
of Horus
of
and Ka
such and
and
such
Copper Chisholm
just mean
named these
that,
circles of
like,
latitude in the times of BC,
that's
and no
where
one in
the
the course of history
tropics
that
are?
followed bothered to change the names of the tropics to their accurate designation. Then would they really be that lazy and neglectful to not bother designating the tropic circles to their correct constellation titles? Did they really invest so much time building the most advanced astronomical clocks only to neglect their maps? No.
But if you already called a specific area on the globe the Tropic of such and such, why would you take the time to rename them just because an arbitrary fucking astrological age has passed? Like, seafaring and astrology are so far removed from each other that they would not need to overlap other than to grab these names from each other. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't need to rename.
Oh, they did not. All these historical maps present designations for the tropic circles of latitude that are well over 2,000 years old. Why? And why are we still using this designation today?
Because they were made then.
These maps, and all our maps, including Google Earth, are tools of deception. Where are the maps from the age of Pisces?
Okay,
the maps
fine.
Of the last
Google Maps is a tool of deception.
Could these maps
I believe
actually
it.
be over 2,000 years old? It seems like someone does not want us to
Also,
know the age.
look at this map. Does this look like a fucking natural occurrence to you? Or does it look like somebody was like, yeah, I know that's there, but I don't know how this real thing fits in, so we're just gonna crossfade. It's fine.
Age we reside in, or wants to distract us from finding out just how important the precession of the equinox really is. This brilliant lady's flat fact leaves us with the following conclusions. The maps, all of them, Mercator and so on, are either 1. Original maps that belong to a period that occurred thousands of years ago and have been given false dates and narratives surrounding their creation. Cartographic world maps are not easy documents to create and establish. They require a solid understanding of our Earth's size and shape. They require a thorough understanding of the circles of latitude.
That's why we have so many inaccurate
maps. They require a complex
maps.
understanding of the continents and land masses.
They are easy to
These
create.
maps are
You could just
manipulated
draw them.
duplications of maps
They
thousands
are
of years
easy to
old or
create. That
completely
is why
fake.
we have
And we
so
do see
many
signs of
that don't make
manipulation,
sense.
especially in regard to the landmass known as Hyperborea.
I'm
We see
yelling
Hyperborea
now.
in
I'm
various maps
screaming.
of various styles, and we are told that these are from the 16th century. But towards the 17th century, we see Hyperborea start to be erased from the maps. We see unknown land masses that are present in some of these old maps vanish entirely. And then it dawned on me, the message of this flat fact. We have no trustworthy maps, not a single one. We have no reliable source to show us the bigger picture of the realm we inhabit.
Okay,
I continued
that's
my
fine.
journey, and as I ventured deeper into the forest, the path to the center that led me thus
Well,
far was
because
gone,
he can't.
and I could not turn back, and there lay no path in front of me. I became truly lost. How to know where you are going if you don't know where you are in the first place, if you don't have a map? All historical
Alright.
waymarks that
Here's
I
what I'm
invested some
gonna
degree
do.
of
I'm
trust
gonna
in
go to the
before
bathroom.
were now completely unreliable
If
and questionable.
we don't
How much had
get
been edited by the
one
controllers?
more
How much
bingo.
truth was left? What if all the maps were fake?
If we don't get
Why are they
one
hiding the maps
more
of the last
thing
2,000
off
years?
of our
We do
bingo
not have one
card,
single accurate or
by
honest
the
map.
time I
And
come
like in the
back,
moments of being lost,
we're
right before
switching
despair
to
takes
the
hold, and
other.
unforeseen
We're
circumstances
switching to
worlds
the
set me back
backup
the
flat
course.
Earth video.
I stumbled through thick overgrowth and out into a moonlit clearing with a small lake.
So you guys
At this
keep a
clearing, I met
close
a mysterious
eye on that
figure
bingo
named
card
Sturgis.
for me,
I told
because
him I
I'm
was
gonna
lost,
be
and
right
he told me to
back.
come and look into the lake.
Cannot be. Oh, it's the moon. It's the moon. Oh my god. If you just flip the map, the Earth, it be. Oh my god. Bro, what? What the fuck is going on? I'm sorry. Terra Vita? And Terra Vista? And that's not the Earth. That does not look like the Earth.
It's flipped upside down. He like
No.
it's the moon.
It's the moon.
And he flip it because mirror mirror.
Oh, now the boys are upset.
The sun and moon cannot journey the entirety of the landmasses presented here because it would take too long. Does this landmass not have its own sun? Or perhaps the moon is not a map of the greater realm after all. But not so fast. We need to spend some time breaking down Sturgios' discovery here. How the image on the face of the moon was.
But it doesn't make any sense that the moon would be a fucking mirror and we see the Earth in it. It just doesn't make any sense. What the there's literally no fucking reason that that would be the case.
And is formed, when it was formed, and why are all questions that no one can answer. Nobody knows apart from the deceivers in higher places. But there are a lot of things hidden in plain sight that bring us a little closer to having a better understanding of this mysterious
the
phenomenon.
moon, it radiates the gaze. I know, so true. They need to stop putting gays on the moon. So true.